Right now on KGW, 2 mental health facilities in Vancouver abruptly close. Why patients say some of the most vulnerable will be hurt the most. And the changes advocates are pushing for 2 years after a mother and daughter were murdered. And later, a proposal to build an MLB stadium along the south waterfront goes in front of Salem lawmakers. How much the Portland Diamond Project is asking for and why it may take a change in state law to make it happen. But first, Portland's weather looking up, when record temperatures may hit the area and what it could mean for you. Your news at noon starts right now. We start this afternoon with a live lookout from our Rose City Sky Cam. Warmer temperatures are on the way this week, and Tuesday is set to be a real treat. Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm China Green. KGW has also issued a weather impact alert for thunderstorms expected later this week. Meteorologist Rod Hill has been tracking the latest on the warm weather, and it's up on the KGW weather deck, sponsored by Rick's Custom Fencing. Rod, I hear tomorrow's supposed to be record-breaking.
Yeah, by the way, this is deck weather right now. I have my vest on, but there's warmth from the sun coming through. So tomorrow's the day with the record temperatures, and you mentioned the thunderstorm threat and the impact alert. That's issued for Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, and we'll get more into that in my complete forecast. Let's talk about record high temperatures likely tomorrow. So the current record for tomorrow is 74. That was set all the way back in 1966. Now get this, I find this interesting. We've only hit 80 degrees only once in March ever out at the airport, and that was all the way back on March 16th in 1947. Now I bring that up because 80 is at least a possibility tomorrow. My way of saying we're going to shatter that record high of 74 degrees. Here's what one of the weather models shows for tomorrow. We'll stop the clock at 4 p.m. This is tomorrow afternoon, and look at Portland in the middle of the map there, showing a projected high of 79 tomorrow. Wow. All right, here's a look at where we are right now, satellite and radar. We have cloudiness, but I can tell you in downtown Portland, the clouds have lifted somewhat and they are thinning, and we're getting some sun. Still some radar, the radar showing some rain to our north. So real quick, where are we temperature-wise right now? The Rose City camera showing at high noon with mostly cloudy skies over the city. We're at 66 degrees. So I do think we will hit 70 today, and we'll have your complete forecast coming up. It's a warm one, at least for the next couple of days, guys. From the KGW weather deck, back to you.
Thank you, Rod. Now at noon, patients in Vancouver tell us 2 Columbia River health clinics closed abruptly. One was used for mental health services. The other is an addiction treatment center. Thomas Schultz joins us live from Vancouver. So, Thomas, what do you know here?
Yeah, well, China, all morning long, right here at Columbia River Mental Health, we've seen some of those employees bringing belongings to their cars, and it seems like they're packing up their belongings from their offices. Now, we were over at North Star Clinic, which serves people who are suffering from opioid addictions as well, and there it was around the block, people waiting for those prescriptions. They said today was the final day, and patients we spoke with say these announcements came abruptly with no forewarning. Those getting treatment for opioid addictions told us they may have to wait over an hour for those final prescriptions. For some people, that meant that they were going to be late to work today. And at Columbia River Mental Health Services, patients tell us people of all ages came here for therapy and checkups. We reached out to the company to learn why exactly these closures happened. We still haven't heard back. Those lack of answers have been really frustrating for some patients.
They didn't offer no insight, they didn't offer nothing. They just closed the doors. So a lot of people right now who actually desperately need those mental health services are going to be without those mental health services. And that's bad. That's really bad.
Now, Ruby Lewis, that patient you just heard from, says she suffers from depression and doesn't know where exactly she's going to turn if she's not able to meet with her therapist on a regular basis. She also says that she believes these closures are going to be the worst for the most vulnerable. China.
Thomas, thank you. In our latest edition in More Than a Number series, we want to highlight a story that we've covered extensively. It's been 2 years since Michelle Melendez and her 7-year-old daughter, Layla Stewart, were found shot to death near Washougal, and loved ones still say that their deaths could have been prevented. The two were reported missing and later found dead in March of 2023. Melendez's ex-boyfriend, Kirkland Warren, right there, was ultimately arrested and charged and pleaded guilty to their murders just days before their disappearance. Warren was arrested for shooting and threatening Mache, but despite being labeled a threat, he was released without an ankle monitor. Warren was also out on bail for a 2017 murder charge in Arkansas at the time.
Everyone says closure and justice. There will never be closure or justice because the systems in two jurisdictions failed not only these two, but a man in Arkansas.
We still are seeking answers to why he did not have the ankle monitor on.
Now loved ones are pushing for change so that no other family has to suffer the same loss. You can read more about the family's advocacy in our latest story up on KGW.com.
She didn't deserve to go like she did. She didn't deserve to die in the hands of a monster who had absolutely no control of his own emotion.
Neighbors of the woman shot and killed in Portland's Centennial neighborhood held a vigil to remember her life. People who knew 45-year-old Brianne Pardue say that she would do anything to help someone in need and that the memories she left behind won't be forgotten.
She would give you the last $5 she had in her pocket, or the jacket off of her back if she knew that you needed it more than her. I think that was more important to me than anything, was the fact that she was just one of the best moms I've ever met in my life.
35-year-old Joshua Thielbar was arrested in connection to Pardue's death. He's been charged with a second-degree murder. More Than a Number aims to help give a face and voice to victims and families impacted by tragedies. If you or someone you know has been the victim of a homicide and would like to share the story, you can reach out to us by sending an email to morethananumber@kgw.com. Albany police are warning people not to run their own sting operations after a YouTuber known for exposing child predators orchestrated a fake meeting with a registered sex offender. Devin Haskins brings us that story.
Albany police on Friday arrested 34-year-old Charles Melick, a registered sex offender, on an outstanding warrant. It was during a fake online meetup orchestrated by YouTube creator Gideon and his team posing as a minor. Police say the fake meetup was news to them.
They showed up unannounced and sprung this on us. That's one of the concerns that we have had in the past when we've assisted with other groups.
Police say these types of stings may have good intentions, but can also pose a risk to the public.
First thing is public safety. And so in this particular situation, we don't know who we're interacting with, and we don't know what that confrontation is going to look like.
On Thursday, Kaiser police, tipped off by Gideon, made two arrests. 29-year-old Kyle Andrew Monroy of Kaiser and 41-year-old Christopher James Lloyd of Portland. Gideon says his team, acting as decoys, would communicate with the men and pretend to be a minor, then arrange for a place to meet.
I'm not, the judge, jury, executioner, but I am the snitch. And, I will tell the police what these guys are doing.
Gideon sees what he's doing as the right thing.
If we can get these guys locked up and get the information to the police, then we should definitely do that.
Police, on the other hand, see it differently.
The Albany Police Department and area agencies, we do our own stings, and those stings are also very productive, but they're controlled to minimize risk to the public and certainly not put anyone in jeopardy that's unnecessary.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
And police say if you want to report a crime against children to contact cybertipline.org. You can also call 1-800-THE-LOST or your nearest police department. Over the weekend, off-duty firefighters helped save a driver from a car that fell 30 feet along Highway 20. This happened on Saturday near the South Santiam River. The Sweet Home Fire District says the car hit a tree before falling into the river when the water started rushing in. Two off-duty firefighters jumped in to help the driver out of the car and onto shore. They were taken to the hospital. The Portland Diamond Project is asking Oregon lawmakers for $800 million to help build an MLB stadium on the south waterfront. They say the funds would be paid back by taxing the incomes of players and team employees. But a 2003 Oregon law in place that allows this kind of bond funding caps out at $150 million. So that's not nearly enough to build a major league stadium today. Supporters say this new Senate bill allowing the loan would reflect the jump in costs over the past 2 decades.
Really does take into consideration conservatively what players' salaries and the team employees, tax income will produce over that bonding capacity. And it also is a nice significant commitment and showing skin in the game from Oregon.
Diamond Project leaders are pitching the proposal to the Senate Finance Committee today. Meantime, MLB hasn't said they plan to expand or that Portland is even an option for a potential new team. Blair Best will be diving into the Diamond Project's hearing tonight on The Story. You can watch the story right here on KGW at 6:30 or for free anytime on our YouTube channel or TV app KGW Plus.